Thanks everyone for joining live. My screen now tells me that we've got a recording in progress, so let me just get rid of that. Excellent. So I've been thinking of you all, wondering how your practice is going. The idea is to do a daily practice, and part of the encouragement that I've made is that at the end, for all of you that have done some practices, well, I'll give away this beautiful singing bowl. And then I finished as well this week. This is a Shavasana cushion. So of course you could use it underneath your knees for asana or as a shim in any sort of way. But I like to use it, a cushion for my head in Shavasana. Many people don't. Another way to use that is to just put it underneath this part of the back, so that when you're laying in Shavasana, you're really open in the chest. And I love sewing. I was noticing when I was sewing that I couldn't concentrate on my breath and sew straight. So whoever wins this cushion will see some jagged edges. There's so many things that we cannot do and concentrate on our breath at the same time. But in this case, we can. And that's part of what we're doing here is learning how to really feel deeply and feel through the prism, through the sight line of the breath. I don't know how many of you like reading science or reading things that are from, really good science writers. I believe this guy is excellent, Dr. Michael Stephen. I mean, even just the title, it's called Breathtaking: The Power, Fragility, and Future of Our Extraordinary Lungs. And he gives a really nice kind of a history of evolutionary history of us and our lungs, but also he gives, kind of cool medical history of when things were discovered and how they were discovered. And I love that. But what I love most of all is that he understands really well that we as humans have agency, right? We have the ability to change what so often is thought of as just automatic. Like, we have hearts that beat all the time, our lungs, we breathe all the time without interference. If we don't have to concentrate on our breath in order to breathe. All of these things that happen in our body that we don't think we have control over, we can actually have control over through the power of breath. I'm just going to read just in the foreword, just tiny little piece that shows what this wonderful doctor believes. Science is beginning to investigate in a serious manner something humanity has known for centuries, that the breath can be used to heal the body. Every year, more papers are being published on the healing power of the breath. Evidence of improvement in patients with asthma, COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, chronic pain, depression, and even cancer are demonstrated. The scientific evidence has started to go deeper to the level of the blood and even our genes. In those who practice breathing exercises, levels of inflammatory proteins in the blood are significantly lower, especially in certain types of stress. Mobilizing the power of the breath has also shown to turn on anti-inflammatory genes and turn off pro-inflammatory ones, including genes that regulate energy metabolism, insulin secretion, and even parts of our DNA that control longevity. Looking down the generations, those of us who practice breathing exercises today may well pass on more disease-resistant genes to our descendants tomorrow. So, I mean, it's wonderful reading. He goes into really beautiful descriptions of how the lungs and the heart work in concert, how these little mini miracles in our body that we take for granted, how they actually work. So if you're interested in that, I can certainly lend you that book. I'm not quite finished with it, but soon I will. Maybe in the next session, I'll give that one away as one of the prizes. Oh, and another prize, I'm making one of these, right? I'm making a beautiful cushion, and I hope to use that same silk and wool backing on it, and I'm not sure what I'll do on the front, but please practice every day. Now, why would I care? Why would I care so much about people practicing daily. It's not practical, right? You're so busy. You've got so many things going on. You're doing so much already. You've got kids, you've got pets. You can't get up any earlier. And if you do, the pets will get up with you. And they'll, the practice on your own is difficult. Why not just go to a class? Why not just go to teachers? That's what they're there for. They've been trained to teach you yoga classes. Why would I care? Because I know from 30 years of trying to get people to do a personal practice that people who do have a personal practice, and just a small one, it's transformational. I mean, basically, we're all on the edge of a nervous breakdown. We're basically all on the edge. The world is really a stressful place to live in. But with this agency that Dr. Michael Stephen was talking about, and that the yogis have been talking about forever, we can turn that potential of falling off the edge, falling into a breakdown, a meltdown. We could do that, and we do. Or we can use whatever it is that has taken us to the edge to look at it and feel it and allow it and resonate with a deeper vibration of calm that we have the power to control through the breath. Nothing will ever beat a yoga class. You'll always have your community, and hopefully you'll always have teachers that you love. But to practice on your own, and I say in the dark, now that's either early in the morning or later at night, but also just in the dark, meaning in the middle of the day, but without a TV or without a video, or even without my sound of Ujjayi breath that we're going to give to you later, a soundtrack of Ujjayi breath. Even without that, just you in the dark, just finding it, knowing it, and making a difference in your own life, like taking choice, basically, making a choice to understand disease in the body and aging, right? Some of you are really, really young, and makes sense to me that you wouldn't be thinking about this stuff, but eventually it comes to a point where there is no choice but to understand how to feel well, because it's not about how you look, it's all about how you feel. And imbalance, the word dosha in Ayurveda, your dosha, your constitution, that word dosha actually infers that we're going to spoil. It means to spoil. Everything is entropic, everything is entropy, everything will fall. But we have the agency within us through the breath to see and feel and take control. So we had a couple of questions on the last week's breath, the bellows breath. First of all, is Kapalabhati. Is that breath of fire? No. Breath of fire is also another Kriya breath. It's also another cleansing breath. It uses the power of the inhale and the exhale. So it looks and sounds more like this. Kapalabhati, or bellows breath, is the inhale is passive. The exhale is when you punch the belly in and release. The release of the belly is what draws the air in. That's why it's passive. You're just releasing. So some of you were saying that you were getting confused because you weren't sure which way the belly was supposed to go. The belly is supposed to be punched into the body on the exhale and release right away in order for the inhale to happen. Just keep thinking of blowing out a candle. When you blow out a candle, you don't suck the belly in and go, right? You'd be confused, right? You blow out a candle, the belly comes in. Watch it, feel it, keep practicing it. It's worth it. Kapalabhati is worth it. So we'll review all the breaths today with the understanding of bandhas. This is not something that I've talked about. If you're a yoga teacher or a yoga student, you will have heard it often. But let me review that word bandha. In Sanskrit, it's Bandhas, bandha. bandha. The translation is lock. Remember last week we talked about mudras and how the translation for mudra is seal, to seal, to seal in order to direct energy flow. Lock is the same idea. You know, in riverways and canals, when boats are go into a lock, have you ever seen that or been on a boat? There is a way of controlling the rising water, containing the water in order to make the water rise, in order to capture a boat, in order to bring it down and move on through the canal. A lock. The locks in the bodies are similar to that. They contain the energy. The floor of the pelvis, mula bandha, our most essential, most generous bandha, is containing the energy and allowing for energy to rise by applying the bandha. Now, just like Ujjayi breath, at first when you learn a bandha and at first when you learn Ujjayi, it's big. It has to be. It's like, I would teach it Mula Bandha by saying, okay, just do what I'm doing, sit like this if you can, and squeeze your buttocks and release, and squeeze your buttocks and release. So when you do that, you can feel the anal sphincter as well, right? Now try to do it without the anal sphincter and the buttocks muscles and just applying the urinary muscles. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Do it with me. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So this is like Kegels, right? So in the beginning, that's how we teach it, is just by feeling that squeezing release. The squeeze, then you try to hold on to, and eventually you hold on to it through a whole yoga practice. For now, and for the first, I was always taught that for the first 7 years of your practice, different than Iyengar, right? Different teachings, different streams, different ideas. This is how I learned it, and this is how I practice. That you apply the bandhas on the exhale in order to feel the energy rising. You release the bandhas on inhale in order to feel the descending, the apana, the downward flow. So the bandha at the bottom, applying mula bandha on the exhale, helps to send energy up. When it gets to about this level, we apply the next lock. We take the energy up, we contain the energy, Uddiyana bandha, right here. In yoga, we learn that the abdominal muscles help to lift back and up. So we're not bunching the abdominal muscles at all. The whole abdominal wall is meant to learn how to push back and up. It's a very beautiful kind of lift that you get here. That's the kind of feeling of Uddiyana bandha, is that sort of raising. And yet your chest is high and your chin, the third lock, Jalandhara bandha, is when the chin is pulled in slightly and the chest is high and this lock is applied. Suddenly the current of energy moves from the center channel of the spine to the two channels of the nostrils, the sun and the moon channel, which become really important in today's breath, in Nadi Shodhana. This is when we're really starting to deepen into the true pranayams, to get the subtlety of the sun channel and the moon channel. So Jalandhara bandha is always going to be helpful in that. But let's review the other breathing practices that we've done in terms of bandhas. So we'll just do the practice like we often do. The first breath, serenity breath. Yes, Ujjayi pranayam. So yes, making that sound. Yes, using the bandhas. Inhaling 3 times. And remember when I said on the exhale breath for serenity breath, what we're meant to feel is that by applying the bandhas, the energy rises, but at the same time, we're feeling this relaxation of the downward flow. I'm just going to change the setting on this because it seems to me that it could be better. I want you to see the top of my head and energy coming out of that. Is that okay, David? Yeah, okay, good. So every time you exhale and the energy rises because you're applying the bandhas, you're also relaxing down because an exhale breath is meant to relax you. So that's what we'll think of on serenity breath. The next breath is applying the bandhas, very determined bandha practice on the next breath, the power breath. Because we're exhaling, we'll do it like a 4-part exhale breath. And each time, because we're learning it, and because for some of you it's your first 7 years of practicing, you're gonna squeeze the urinary muscles and lift. You'll reapply that squeeze. You'll add the belly in and up. And the final one, it's kind of like a little bit of a Jalandhara bandha. And then on the inhale, you get this gracious, massive inhale breath. So serenity breath, bandhas and ujjayi, power breath, bandhas and ujjayi. The next breath that we did, the sun moon breath, the idea was to inhale through the center channel of the spine, exhale through one side of the body. But we're still using ujjayi and we're still using bandhas. It's just that you're sending the energy up and aware of the side of the body, the sun side of the body, the moon side of the body. When we get to Kapalabhati, no more ujjayi, right? It doesn't sound like this. No, the throat is totally relaxed and in the nostrils, and there's no bandha. There's no mula bandha. Uddiyana bandha, yes. It's this fast kind of a, not really Uddiyana bandha because it's not doing that. It's just a little bit of a tapping sensation to push the air out, relaxing to allow the air in. So practice with me. The first 2, we're going to use postures. So extend your legs. Give the legs a shake if you've been sitting cross-legged. Sit a little bit side to side and buttocks muscles out. Ground the body with the hands, with the eyes closed for a minute. A couple of ujjayi breaths. Good. How quickly can you transform the energy into a feeling, sensation in the body through the sound of your breath? Adding the bandhas means adding on the exhale breath, squeezing the urinary muscles, pulling the belly in and lifting slightly from the back of the skull. As you breathe in, either relaxing the bandhas to feel that downward flow, or if you're really advanced, then you keep holding the bandhas, but you feel the downward flow on the inhale. One more time as you exhale, squeeze the urinary muscles, pull the belly in and up. And as you inhale, relax the belly, soften the urinary muscles, open the floor of the pelvis. Good, and exhale. Moving into serenity breath now. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale, a thin stream of air rising up through the body, slightly pitching forward at the hips. Good, and one more. Inhale, inhale. Breathing in. Exhale, squeeze the urinary muscles, pull the belly in, long straight line, diagonal flat back. Good, and change, draw the left, or I'm just gonna do my right leg, you do your right leg because I'm mirroring you now naturally. So Janu Shirshasana, you still got that beautiful feeling of pitching forward at the hips, and on your own time, serenity breath, try to get the feeling of energy rising on the exhale, but also everywhere that you can relax down, do. The shoulders down, the muscles of the neck, muscles at the back of the leg. Good, and change. Take this right leg and just bring it all the way over. Anytime you've got a fold in the body, that's a really good indication that you're going to relax inside that joint. And breathing in, breathing in, breathing in, exhale. Good. All you really need is one breath. If you get the serenity breath, you can tuck this leg back in and take one breath in this place. The same idea. Inhale 3 times. Apply Mula Bandha, apply Uddiyana Bandha. Make the energy rise up, thin stream of air through the body while relaxing your shoulders down. Good. Nicely done. The knee that's bent, leave it bent in there. Bend the other knee and bring that foot across. As soon as we go into a twist, as soon as you wrap that right elbow around the knee, you feel the twist, right? This is really a good place to feel serenity breath. Breathing in, breathing in, breathing in. And as you exhale, turn the head all the way back behind you. Squeeze the urinary muscles, pull the belly in, but relax your shoulders down, relax down. Good, and change. Whole thing on the other side. The exact same sequence that we just did. Very simple postures. Inhale, breathing in, breathing in. Exhale breath, finding bandhas. Let's do one more breath there. As the energy is rising, you're also feeling deeply relaxed. The shoulders down, palms down. Good, change. Both hands over here to this right side. Folding over it into the hip crease, super soft. 3 breaths in. Exhale where you are, squeeze the urinary muscles, pull the belly in. Lift the chest and drop your chin. Do another breath there. That's nice, good. Exhale. Where can you relax? Where can you feel that downward letting go of that serenity breath? Now take a hold of the ankle to get into this place. Some of you might have to have the foot out there, but if you could tuck it in and lift your tail and swing it over that way, the idea is to have a very parallel position when you pitch forward with your serenity breath. Remember, on exhale, you relax in the joint. That's the feeling of it. And yet energy is rising through the spine. So if I were doing this on my own, I'd do 3 or 4 or 5 serenity breaths in each one of these postures. And this is literally the way I start my practice. The last one on this set is to cross the leg if you can. If you can get it across. It's a deep twist, right? You're already twisting, even just by getting this bandha, this lock. Take your inhale breath 3 times, breathing in, sip it in, sip it in. Now as you exhale, squeeze the urinary muscles, pull the belly in, lift your chest and drop your chin. Take one more. Squeeze the urinary muscles, get it, get Mula Bandha. Good, and release. Give the legs a bit of a shake. Let's move from serenity breath to power breath. Can you come back to a cross-legged position? Take your inhale breath. And as you exhale, let the chin drop down into the left side like that. So that's the position that we're going to do the power breath in. Now, hypertonics, like I was talking about, you're bringing the origin and the insertion of the tight muscle together. That's what a contraction is, right? But all we need to do really is to breathe 3 times or 4 times on the exhale breath, and that will kind of naturally happen right here. Anytime we're leaning over into a side bend of any type, as soon as you pull the belly in and up, it's kind of drawing the body back to center, but you're holding your ground so that on the inhale breath, you go deeper into the pose. So let's try chin down, left ear to left shoulder, take an inhale breath, take 4 exhale breaths. And each time you exhale, like a little jack, lifting it up, like a little log, lifting up, squeeze and lift. Now, as you inhale, see if you can relax into that muscle group and get a little more length there. Let's try the other side. So the effort is to get a good inhale, yes? So take an inhale for nothing. Now, as you exhale, squeeze the urinary muscles. Exhale, pull the belly in. Exhale, belly in and up. Exhale, last exhale, all the air out. Now, as you breathe in, stay, hold your ground, and get length. Try one more time. Exhale. It's as if the contraction is happening here. It's as if you're doing a tiny little squeeze right in the muscle, right there. And then on the inhale, we're retraining the receptors, stretch receptors, to allow you to get a little bit more stretch. Good. And change. Let's do the side bend that I was talking about. And on the exhale breath, let's make a bigger gesture. Okay, so take the inhale breath. Good. As you exhale, push and push as you pull the belly in. Last exhale breath, all the air out. Now stay here and inhale and see if your side bend gets a little deeper. Yeah, good. Again, exhale, squeeze the urinary muscles. Exhale, pull the belly in. Exhale, pull the belly in. Exhale, pull the belly in. Yes, I know. Now inhale. Good, and change to the other side. Nice breath in. Exhale. Good. Yeah, I think it is natural. I saw some of you coming up and out of the posture on an inhale, because that is what we sometimes do, is come up on an inhale. But what I want you to do is hold your ground and see if you get that hypertonic response, which is a lengthening in the side of the body that we're inhaling on. Now, this is all applying the power breath, which we could also do right here. Let's try one just right here, just like we did last week. Inhale. Exhale, push. Exhale. Exhale, more air out. Exhale, all the air out. Breathe in. Again, exhale, both lungs are empty. We're using the belly pulling in and up. We're using all the power of the floor of the pelvis. We're even using the chin slightly dropping. Inhale, open the bandhas, open the breath. Good, I want to see that one more time. Exhale, squeeze the urinary muscles. Exhale, squeeze and lift the urinary muscles. Exhale, pull the belly in. Exhale, pull the belly in and up for the last, all that air out, and breathe in. Good, it looks great. Now, the next breath that we do you know, I was experimenting within my yoga practice. Every time we do a warrior two, the energy is going to that side. That's sun breath. If we take the warrior two to the other side, that's a moon warrior two. We're transferring the energy all the time. Sun, moon, hatha. Those are the words. Hatha yoga, sun, moon, male, female. All that energy is actually your experience of it is to feel both sides of the coin at the same time. But specifically in this sun moon, we're just learning, right? We're just learning to feel. So if you come to this mudra where the thumbs are right at the heart center, that's where in dance you learn the mudras right there. And then when you put a mudra out to the side, you're supposed to have a little mirror image, tiny, right at the center of the chest. So find that energy of the inhale breath. Now the hand that's in front, lift it up and reach it out and do a big circle and feel that side of the body and tuck it in behind to take the inhale breath. Exhale up and out. Front and back, side and side. Inhale, center channel of the spine. Over you go to that side with all your awareness, feeling awareness, front and back, feeling. Both sides of the leg on the right. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, everything goes to this side. The ear, the eye, the nostril, the feeling, the breath. Good. Inhale, center. Perfect. So experiment with that a little bit in your own practice. You know, get the feeling of doing warriors side to side, coming back to center for inhale breath. Change. So I'll just show it to you. You won't be able to, you'll just be able to see my legs. It would be something like inhale, center, exhale, inhale, center, exhale, side to side, sun, moon. And now let's review Kapalabhati. The question that came in when people were confused, like of the inhale, exhale after 8 counts. I was just doing that to give you a break. But Kapalabhati is done steady at the pace that works for you. But I was trying to give you different paces to feel if it's faster, it's lighter, it might be easier for some. So I'll give you a really medium pace and you can have your hands here, or I like it here, because when you exhale and the belly pulls in, there's this interesting thing that happens where the chest kind of pushes out as the belly pulls in. So I usually do my Kapalabhati. Maybe that's a little fast. Very good. Keep going. I'm just gonna change so I can see all of you for a second, because I haven't got you all. I just want to see. Keep going. I want to see if I can see your bellies. Yeah, it's a little hard to see, but I think you're getting it. I think you're doing well. Remember, I said you can always get me on the phone, right? Get me on the phone, and if your questions are too hard to email, and sometimes something else will come of it if we have a phone conversation. So if you're having some trouble with Kapalabhati, it's a kriya, it's a cleansing, it's a purifying. Now, Nadi Shodhana that we're going to practice today is the ultimate purifying breath and more subtle. We get more subtle with our Ujjayi breath as we get more advanced. So for those of you that have been practicing like me for many, many, many years, the idea is that Ujjayi is, so I do it loud for the benefit of the microphone so that you can hear it. But in my own practice, it's very light, it's very thin. It's very vivid. The thinner it gets, the more vivid it is, the bigger it feels. Same with the bandhas. For Mula Bandha, for example, just one more thing about Mula Bandha that I forgot to say. When you get really good at it, it's so light of a touch that you can barely feel it. So try this, try swallowing. Wherever you are, just give a little swallow and try to feel what happens at the floor of the pelvis when you swallow. See how that little tick happens? It's not the urinary muscles, right? It's the very lightest touch is lifted up, and you would maintain that through your yoga practice. That would be Mula Bandha. Now with Ujjayi breath, it's similar. Like now that we're doing Nadi Shodhana, I was talking to David about it this morning in Iyengar, because we're using the hands and because we're coming into these nostril channels, the Ujjayi breath is no longer the focus. It's not necessary. It's not there. It could be there very lightly, but that's not the focus. It's kind of like in Kapalabhati. You just let it go. So let's come back to where we were a second ago and take your inhale breath. Now with your right hand, do what we did on the exhale. Leave the hand there. Now as you inhale, bring the hand back. Now here, make the transfer and start to exhale the other hand. Yes, good. Very nice. Leave the hand there and feel that side on the inhale. Good. Breathing in. Breathing out. Feel the side that you're moving on. See with your peripheral vision. This is an inhale breath. Now make the Ujjayi lighter. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now close your eyes. Mula Bandha is so light. It's like this little tick. Good. And inhale and change. Let's take the hands up to the third eye and just do this. Just fold in on Anjali Mudra is prayer posture, right? But in this case, we just have the thumbs kind of tucked in there on the nostrils. And let's take the inhale breath through both nostrils. With the thumb, push on your left nostril and do the same thing. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right nostril. Bring it all the way back, just like we did. Exhale. Now you're exhaling through the left nostril because this is covered. Inhale on that side. And exhale. Breathing in through the right nostril, feeling the right side of the body, waking up. Breathing out through the left nostril, left ear, left eye, left side of the shoulder, arm, left leg. Yes, so what I'm seeing from people is every once in a while, you switch sides, you're confused, kind of like Kapalabhati, is my belly supposed to be going in or out, or the bandhas? It's actually more relaxed than that, maybe to just use one hand. So let's try. Remember last week we did Vishnu Mudra? So great. The thumb being fire, air and ether. So for all you vatas who have a lot of creative energy and a lot of, upward, windy, talk a lot, have a lot going on, this mudra is really good because it draws that energy down. And it's actually more relaxing than it looks because we're not trying to keep the fingers up. You bring those, that's what we're going to be using for our nostrils. We're going to be inhaling through one nostril, covering that nostril, exhaling through the other one. And you're just going to be going back and forth with a really relaxed feeling, hardly any ujjayi or no ujjayi if you can get there where you don't need the ujjayi to keep track. So let's cover the right nostril for a second and just breathe through the left. Just a couple of times, breathe through the left. So you just keep breathing through the left nostril, right? This is the moon channel. Calming, it's receptive. It's a listening. It's a feeling awareness of that left side of the body. Now change to the other side. Cover your left nostril and feel the right. Just breathe in and out through the right nostril. Let it become really vivid and aware, like sparkling, awake. Saturate the feeling of that side of the body, the sun channel, very bright, vivid, quality of action, the quality of moving forward, strong. Good. Now place the two fingers, because some of you have arthritis in your hands and it's actually kind of hard for you to get that Vishnu Mudra. Place those two fingers right at the third eye, and let's try it this way. Cover your left nostril and breathe in through the right and see the thumb. See the thumb. The thumb closes the nostril and breathe out through the other side and see those fourth and fifth finger. Breathe in through that side. Cover the left nostril, breathe out through the right. Now close your eyes and feel the right ear. You're breathing in through that right side. You're closing off those channels and breathing through the left moon channel. Inhaling the whole left side of the body alive. Closing the left, breathing out through the right. Do one more. Inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. Good, and then release the mudra down. Very nice. Well done. Kind of like Kapalabhati, you have to do just a small amount of this. That's probably more than enough for today. But we'll try it laying down. We'll come back to the feeling of alternate body breathing. But now that you're starting to get the idea of how refined it is, it's possible the alternate body breathing will be a little bit different for you. And also in the laying down position, that might be a little bit different for you. But before we do that, just let me remind you that we are alternating our nostrils naturally. One is more dominant. and then it will change to the other one more dominant. And in yoga and according to Ayurveda, if one channel is constantly dominant, this is the beginning of imbalance in the body. So if you constantly waking up and you're always, blocked in one nostril, check later on in the day, is that still the same nostril that is blocked? In India, the Shivites, the holy men that have a staff that looks like a three-pronged staff. It actually has a little hook on it, and they lean into a point underneath the armpit, which helps to open the opposite nostril. And I remember in yoga therapy training, we did a lot of exercises where we did, blocking that channel underneath the armpit to open the opposite. Why would you want to open the opposite? Well, in ashrams, people come in with a lot of energy, right, solar channel. A lot of us are pretty left brain. We really, a lot of us are right-handed. A lot of us, even when we're learning in school, we have that channel that's really open, and you might have always been really aware of the right side. The teacher might have always been standing on that side. And then the teacher goes over to the other side of the room, and this side of the brain, the right side of the brain now opening up to the left eye, has to be switched on. And this idea of switching one side and then the other side and then the other side, it's actually a theory. It's a theory of a part of our learning dysfunction. It's called switching. It's very exhausting when you're turning on and off the light switch. So in some types of training of learning disorders, this crossing the body, getting the body to have both sides of the brain switched on at the same time, has to do with these drawing big circles, crossing the midline of the body, doing that with your arms. But we're doing this in yoga a lot anyway. I try to do a lot of cross type action, and the crossing that I do is in Kapalabhati. I'll do. That's a very good way to get the body switched on, to get both sides of the brain lit up at the same time, is by doing alternate nostril Kapalabhati or alternate nostril Nadi Shodhana that we're learning today. Nadi Shodhana is supposed to lead into meditation. So let's just do our kind of a Shavasana with Nadi Shodhana and then a short sit, and that will be how we close the class. So lay down, find a position that's comfortable for you. I'll get my bell. Use your Shavasana pillow if you have one. Extend the legs out. In Shavasana, we let go of Ujjayi breathing, so that's actually what we're going to do right now. We're going to see if you can completely undo that sound of breath. Let the eyes relax. Relax all the muscles on the face. Drop your shoulders. Drop your hips. And drop your legs. And now, just as a way of using Shavasana with the most subtle breath, feel as though the inhale breath is coming through the center of your body. And feel on the exhale breath that the whole right side of the body is completely releasing to the earth. And then just keep the energy on the right side, keep the awareness on the right side as you breathe in, the softest touch to the right body. And as if rolling over to the left side, feeling everything on the left completely relaxing. Good, stay where you are and feel the inhale breath sipping up, sip, sip. Then swinging back over to the right in this glorious release of all the muscles, the bones, and even the skin. Soft. And then just leaving the focus on that side to feel, oh, the inhale breath, so sweet. And the sensation of rolling to the other side, just like you roll over in bed, and really feel now, roll the feeling as you stay where you are, letting go to that opposite side. And then just carry it on for yourself. The inhale comes from that same side, so that it's not until the exhale breath that you switch the awareness to the other, your opposite, the sun or the moon. So you're just breathing and softening the whole side of the body, and then coming back on that side. And then letting go on the other side, just muscles softening, skin soft, letting go, letting go. Feeling what it's like to breathe into a completely relaxed side of the body. The lightest touch. And over to the other side you go. Like a dream, just swinging out onto that channel of breath. A couple more breaths as you are in Shavasana. A new experience maybe to do alternate nostril body breathing in Shavasana. Carry on another half a minute. And then coming out of that practice and into just wiggling the fingers and the toes, feeling a global awareness of the whole body now. Rubbing the hands together to make a little bit of heat. You take the heat from the hands and place the hands on the eyes, as if lighting lamps there. And the light from that lamp gets transferred to all the other lamps in the house. You light up all the rooms. Every room lit now. You wash your face, your hair, the whole body coming alive, sensation. And come back to a seated posture for meditation. And if you have your little cushion, or like me, you're just taking the back of your cushion to flip it over, or get your block or meditation cushion. Good, and you know how we always start the class with the palms down. That's a grounding, a panak mudra, pana, especially when the thumb and the fourth finger are together. When we're ready for meditation, we can turn the palms up. And the classic meditation mudra, Jnana mudra, is thumb and index finger together. So find where that's comfortable for you in the body. And if you like, the palms can kind of be facing one another to create this big circle of energy. The center channel of the spine now is just from all that channel purification. The vividness of that would be seen and certainly felt in your aura, so that the very thinnest line of sensation in the center of the body is so bright that it surrounds you, that you're surrounded with your own light. And we just sit in that light and listen without intent, with no more ujjayi breath, no more pranayam, just a quiet, still, grounded, soft, open, clear space of listening. Chest is high, the chin is slightly pulled down, just slightly. The touch of the thumb and index finger is light as that little tick I was talking about at the floor of the pelvis. If you add that very minimal mula bandha, very minimal, and whatever you feel is good, but to feel the center line of Shushuma, the center channel, as if right from the beginning of time, like a tree that's adding rings, it's just like you're opening from there. Just keep opening from there. The rings of awareness just keep widening until you can feel beyond, way beyond your physical body, but you're feeling it from the very center of your body mind. And just for the very last moment of meditation, the last minute or so, bring your right hand to face forward. Bring your left palm up a little bit. Release the Yana Mudra, and the middle finger, the throat chakra. Just bring that finger just slightly forward, no big deal. Then either close the eyes or half lidded, so that you can see and feel and listen from this gesture of no fear, giving, receiving equally, naturally, the feeling awareness, totally connected, totally grounded. And bringing the sun channel, the moon channel, sun and the moon right together in Anjali Mudra, right at the very center of the body, mind, and heart, that mudra. Just for a moment, feel. We'll close the class here with a bow.